Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, animals, inanimate objects. Welcome to Tales with TR episode 234A. I'm your host, Terry Ryan Jr. 234B will include my good buddy Dave Whitty, who's an awesome local musician, a legend of Tibbs Eve in these parts. If you don't know what Tibbs Eve is, and I'm sure most of you don't, it's a Newfoundland thing. We all basically get shift faced on December 23rd, but it's a great day. A lot of people have come home. You make sure if you're going to come home for Christmas, you make sure you're home by Tibbs Eve. Usually, you end up, at least I do, with my buddies down around George Street. Go out early for a little brunch, very similar to Patty's Day, and then get on the eggnog and rum or beers or whatever you're going to do. And for the last 15 years, we've gone to the Rock House to watch Dave Whitty. Dave's got a new album out called Long Way to Go. I think it's his fourth studio album. Great guy, great musician. His biggest song here on The Rock, at least, I think. I don't want to speak for him. I'll have him on tomorrow. He is a good friend. Never asked him, but I think it's Lizzie is the name of the song. I'm going to ask him about that and who Lizzie actually is. Anyway, and thanks to my guest last week, Brad fucking Lukowich, two-time Stanley Cup winner, two-time Memorial Cup winner, and just all around good guy. And Shoresy watcher. I know there's a lot of you guys out there, but it's always nice to hear when one of your buddies and a member of such highly respected member of the hockey community watches our show. And it's humbling to me. I played against Brad back in the day. We fought a couple times. I didn't bring that up. It's wild, but we did. Yeah, just part of life back then in the Western Hockey League when I was 16. I think he was 16. We're turning 17 maybe. We were kids. Okay, I have a question that comes from Samantha up Sudbury way. The Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs will be back soon. Season 4 will be coming at you, I believe, in January or February. Looking forward to that. You didn't hear it from me. Now I'm not in on those meetings with Bell Media and everything else and our executive producers and all that stuff, but I'm led to believe it will be. I see no reason. We've got it recorded. And after it's edited and all that, I would think they want to give it to you early in the new year. So stay tuned. I'll make an official announcement when I know. But, what was the question? Oh, Samantha wanted to know, will Connor Bedard be on the Four Nations Cup team? Look, I really don't know. On one hand, you can say, yeah, he is having a rather blah year. But he is leading his team in scoring. And I'll remind you guys, when Connor Bedard came in, I'm trying to think of first overall picks. Okay, so you got Austin Matthews. Right? Now, there's lots of them. I'm just saying, I'm going to name a few. Austin Matthews came in with the Leafs, but immediately they turned the corner. And even though they weren't great, but I think like he went first overall and they made the playoffs the next year, which is pretty wild. Usually you tank for a while. But, he came in with Marner and Riley, I guess, right before him, and then Nylander. Tavares, even though a little bit older, came in at that time, was in his prime. Yeah, he was surrounded by a lot of great players. Same thing, Chicago's when they won the Cup. You had Taves and Kane came in together. Keith was on the point. Brent Seabrook was there. Patrick Sharp. There was great players. They won the Cup shortly after, right? Pittsburgh, Crosby, first overall. Malkin, Letang, obviously, and Fleury, they all came in together. But Jordan Stahl was there for a big. These guys are still there. They're, the first three over 2 decades. But they went to a Cup final against Detroit maybe 2 or 3 years after Sid was drafted, and then they won the Cup the next year. Really like immediate success surrounding those guys, but with great players. But I just don't see it in Chicago. I feel Bedard at this moment is on more of a solo mission. And now, does that have anything to do with whether he makes Canada? Yeah, I do think so, because you can't look past. There's players out there, right? Like you're only going to have like a guy like Brendan Hagel. Is he going to be there? Probably. Sam Reinhart, man, he can score. People say he's not going to have that same year again. I know, but he's good. He's in your face. He's he's really, I think, really stepped it up in the last couple of years. You can't ignore guys like that. There's, Marner and, McDavid and these guys are going to be there. Will Zach Hyman? I don't know. I think I might take him ahead of Bedard. Not because I don't like Bedard. He's just got so much time. And this, by the way, Olympics will be different. That's a year from now. We're going to have the Olympic story. Four Nations Cup. What the fuck is it really? I mean it. Like I love Canadian Team Canada, whatever iteration is, the World Cup, the Olympics. I even thought the last World Cup with that under 23 team or under 21 team, I thought that was a little much, but I still watched. I could buy in because there was more than four teams. Four Nations Cup. Okay. Canada, US, Sweden and Finland. Where's the Czech Republic? I get why Russia's not there. By the way, we're going to do that forever, penalize those. I mean, I think Putin should get the fuck out of Ukraine too. I really do. And without getting him, please don't give me fucking any political messages for that. Whatever, just please don't. There's a lot of layers to that, most of which I don't give a fuck. I feel bad for people that are getting invaded, yeah, but I don't want to get into it. But what I'm saying is that, okay, you're going to ban Russia. I see the point, whether you agree or disagree, whatever. But like teams like the Czech Republic, why? I don't know. I'd have like Switzerland there. I really would. Like Switzerland aren't going to win. I don't know. They're at the World Juniors. I don't know. Like fill it in with, and they could win. No, they likely won't. But you still have some great players that are in the NHL. Players like Leon Draisaitl, who Germany probably wouldn't have a great team. Well, take a bunch of players like that and put them together. Put, Ovechkin and these guys from Russia maybe on a team like that. There's all kinds. There's people that were born in fucking Japan and shit. Just look into it. There's not that you want a Japanese team. I just mean I would have the Czech Republic. I think I'd have Switzerland. Maybe a world team combined of guys that really don't have might be from, I don't know, Latvia or Austria or something that wouldn't quite compete, but have decent hockey. Maybe put them all together. I don't know. But give me more. Give me more. Slovakia, geez, I forgot to say that. They'd be okay. There's players in the league, lots from there. I just don't get the four nations. It just makes me say, who gives a fuck? So, like, even take the Canada Cup in the late 80s. People go, well, it's the same thing. I guess you'd say that in 87. But there was more teams represented, and the Russian team that were there, it was before all these guys had come over. Most of them were just playing in Russia, so there's a real sense of Canadian pride playing against them. Same thing in 72, and in all the Canada Cups, whatever you want to call them, international competitions. I just felt more involved as a Canadian fan. I mean, it's going to be nice to see, David Crosby and company play on the same team. But I don't know, four nations, I just don't get it. I don't get it, and I hope no one gets injured. Right now, I would probably take Tom Wilson. I think I'm nuts for that, but I think I would. Guy can score a little bit. He's going to run around, hit it. People are going to be terrified of him. But again, it's just like taking the place of the All-Star game this year. Are they going to be going hard? I hope they do. But if I'm an owner, I don't want to go too hard. Like the Olympics are different, all on the line. This is the Olympics. Too bad if I get hurt. Even if it was the World Cup of hockey that took place, in the summertime or whenever you would do it, or if it was the Six Nations Cup instead of four, even give me six. Give me six. Four teams. Like, half the league's not there, that is not qualified to be there. Qualified. Yeah, they're not with one of those nations, right? A lot of players in the league. So you're just having a little exhibition thingamajig with a few teams, but it's not going to hold the same weight to me. I don't care. Even if Canada plays US in the final and it's in overtime, I'm sure I'll get into it now. I'm going to have my face painted and shit. I'm going to be at every game. I'm going to be wearing Team Canada colors, of course, because it's still kind of interesting to me, and I don't want to abandon my love of hockey and my fandom for all these players because I think it's ridiculous. But I do think there's a level of what the fuck? Did we need this? I think as players we did. We needed a World Cup years ago. We need these guys to be in the Olympics the whole time through. I get it. We need international competition. But four teams, I don't know. I just can't buy into it. Okay, so you won the Four Nations. Like, there's lots of players that weren't there. Big deal. Why don't you have 3 teams? Why don't we try that? I don't know. So I guess I've gone on a bit of a rant, but I don't see the importance or the need. I'm sorry. I'll still be there as a fan, but give me more teams or give me none. I don't want any of this Four Nations shit. I don't care who's playing. I'll be much more involved when the Olympics come to watch that and that outcome. And to me, that is more will Bedard be there. And that'll be his 3rd year. I think the first Olympics Crosby was in, wasn't it, 2004? And I don't even think he played. I think he was a spare or something. That's what I'd say now about Bedard. But in a year from now, again, I know he doesn't have a lot of points, but he's leading his shit team in scoring. So I think I'll go as far as to say in a year from now, I might even be a little surprised if he's not there. This might be premature. I wouldn't complain, but I think there are probably some guys that deserve to wear the maple leaf that won't next year when it's Olympics time. And I think they've earned their keep. And we've gone so long without international competition that there are some great players that if they don't put on the jersey for this Four Nations Cup, they're never going to do it. And I think if I'm with Canada now, I probably look at that. And maybe a Bedard there on the outside looking in. I think you can take some extra guys, right? Of course. Anyway, I'm not. I think it's a little bit silly, to be honest with you. 4 teams gives a shit. Okay, another one coming at us here from Jimmy J in Nova Scotia. Jimmy J says, "Hey TR, with Austin Matthews' slow start, do you think he gets more than 40 goals this season?" Well, yeah, it's slow, but he missed like 10 games, didn't he? So, and even in some of those first games he didn't score in, I think one game he had like 15 shots on net. Just fucking nuts to have in a game. And the Leafs did well with him out. They got Berube there now that seems to be playing smarter hockey. It doesn't mean he's going to score less goals. More than 40. So he's got 6. So that means he's going to score 34 the rest of the season. And there's, how many games are we in? 23. Yeah, it's 23 or 24, 25, whatever. Yeah, man, there's 50 games left. At least that. No, way more than 50 games left. Yeah, I do. I don't think Austin Matthews got any worse or anything. You know what you've heard on here? Sometimes I refer to the Leafs' inconsistencies, but I don't think he's one of them. Like 40 goals, you said, will he get 45, 50? But he's still Austin Matthews to me. And he's been getting those chances. And last night, I mean, he scored I think in the first period against the Blackhawks, and he had a bunch of more chances. He looks like he's ticking. Those guys seem to be really rolling. Matthews is off his line. I don't think that's going to matter at all. And, he's just still ripping shots on the power. Yeah, I don't know. Like, why wouldn't he? And his slow start largely is due to injury. That's happened before. I mean, if he gets injured more, maybe not. But if he plays all the games coming in with the rest of the season, I have no reason. And I'm just doing logical math. That's, if you just look at the scoring percentages that he's had since he's come into the league, and I've got no reason to think that he won't score 34 more goals in 2024-25. If I'm a Leafs fan, I really don't care. And, I'm concentrating more on Berube and Berube hockey. Not on Berube, but, how these guys are going to respond in the playoffs. And like we see it happening now. Like, it seems that if you're a Leafs fan anyway, they're responding well. But, you just never really know until the playoffs with those guys. And that's probably understood. I think the Leafs are in the best position they've been in a long time to go far, but I've said that before. I've said it about the Leafs. I've said it about the Winnipeg Jets. I've said it about the Rangers. And only one team can win. And when the playoffs happen, I mean, it's a bounce. It's this, but I do think that, yeah, if there's any year that I would be betting on the Leafs going at least 2 rounds, okay, just go 2 rounds. Let's go into the second round and possibly beyond. This would be their best chance. Given that all those guys are in their prime at some point, contracts are going to happen. John Tavares is still playing well. People are kind of down on him a little bit, I guess. You get the captain taken away. I guess the captain given to Matthews. Not like they ripped it off his chest. But, I still think you're getting great hockey out of him. He hasn't really tailed off yet. So, yeah, I got no reason to think. I think their D is as good as it's been. You got like Tanev you're going to see in the playoffs. You're going to see the real value come through. Even the young guys coming up, like I didn't expect Fraser Minton to be this good. Yes, I mean, I don't know. As an extension to your question, I don't think a lot of people in Toronto now are looking at how many goals Austin Matthews are going to get. Last year, yeah, and he's just on a heater the whole year. And as the year went, how many can he end up with? I don't think. I think people are thinking, can the Maple Leafs win? And that's a story that they're going to tell. Not me or you or anybody else. But I do think, given their coaching and that people seem to be buying in, that they're in the best position they've been in years to do that. I personally, guys, by the way, segue, I'll be in Oakville Thursday. I fly up in the morning, and Friday night, I believe, or Saturday morning, I'm coming back here. But we're going up for a fundraiser. It's a Jackson Events. It's a charity event, so there's going to be all kinds of players there. Myself, Jeremy Roenick, Brad May, Al Iafrate, Shane Corson, Brian McGrattan. This is just a few guys that are going to be there. It's we're raising a lot of money. There's a dinner the night before. You raise money as a team and then draft players accordingly. And usually we all go out for a beer, maybe some live music, something to eat, and then you play your 3 or 4 games with that team on the Friday morning. And these really are a lot of fun events. They're a lot of fun for me, because not only do I get to interact with you fans. I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be hundreds of people that are listening to this that I'm going to see there, but for me, it's like fantasy camp, because I'm getting to play hockey. And I mean, I know I played in the NHL, and I know it's great, and Shoresy's fucking awesome, and for that reason, I'm on a bit of a platform because of that. But trust me, I get goosebumps often being in the same room as Jeremy Roenick and hearing those stories and being considered his peer. Right, when in my mind, I'm just as big of a fan as the people that are picking me. I'm not kidding you. And when we go out and all those fans have like questions for us, I'll have just as many for those guys. Even guys I hang out with, Matthew Barnaby, Andre Waugh, they don't like mesmerize me, just their presence or anything. But I really do respect their hockey careers. I looked up to them, and it's a lot of fun to be around them and absorb the game and the culture with you guys and with some hockey players that are either idols of mine or I've looked up to. And a lot like Brian McGrattan are younger than me, but I just appreciate what it takes to be a hockey player. And most of these players that Jackson Events and others, I mean, I don't only work for them. It's just one little portion of it, but most people they bring in are they're very virtuous guys. They're respectful. They're a lot of fun. They're loyal, and they do the best job that they can do for the fans, and that's what it's all about. So I will be there. Follow my story on Instagram, Terry Ryan 2020. Few of you have asked for a book. Go to ecw.com or flankerpress.com. Both of my books are available. I will find a way to sign it. Either they'll send it to me. If it's Flanker Press, it's just up the road. So if you want a book signed, I mean, I consider my books volume 1 and volume 2. If you don't have either one, maybe start with the first one. But if you want it signed by Christmas, easiest thing is order it from Flanker Press, because it's really 5 minutes up the road, and I just go up and I'll personalize it too. It's one thing to sign it, but I'll personalize it. If you want it through ECW, you're going to have to do it immediately. Order it, and they will send it to me, and I'll send it back to you wherever you are. It might be a little bit extra of a fee, but not too much, trust me. But go through that route. I don't have time to be taking orders myself right now. I have a website real soon. with some awesome merch. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, boys and girls, I got to take off. Tim Baker, forever overhead. And I am forever busy. I've got to go now, take my daughter to soccer, and then get ready for the Jason Greger show in just a couple of hours. Looking forward to that. Love being on the Jason Greger show. And I'll talk to you guys then. Stay tuned. I really appreciate all of you still listening. And over Christmas, we're going to have some awesome guests. I'm going to try to get a Christmas theme. Like I said, thank you to Brad Lukowich last week and Dave Whitty tomorrow. Trust me, a lot of you don't know who he is. Newfoundlanders know exactly who he is. But this guy's a lot of fun. He's entertaining. His music's fucking awesome. And he's got a good hockey mind, too. So we're going to do a little bit of both. We're going to weave in some music. We're going to weave in some Newfoundland. We're going to weave in some hockey and maybe some, some hockey conundrums. I'll pass on some questions to Dave that a lot of fans ask me. And trust me, he can answer them. He's as much great sports fan and Leafs fan as he is a songwriter, and that's saying something. But the guy's articulate. He's well-versed. He's an awesome songwriter, but yeah, you'll be surprised. He really knows the game. I'm looking forward to having him on again, or having him on. Thanks for listening. If you're downtown St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, you want to check out George Street, why not check out Trinity Pub? Why not check out the Bull and Barrel, Green Sleeves, the Martini Bar, and of course, Rob Roy Confusion. If you want to have a bite to eat, I do it at the Loose Tie, Blue on Water, and maybe, just maybe, Wedgwood Cafe, who are just awesome. Peter Wedgwood Cafe, and they also do catering. If you want strength and balance for the body and mind, look no further. Ryan Power at Power Conditioning. This guy knows what he's talking about. Check it out, folks. If you want to go to Mr. Lube, there's 2 locations in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. One's on Kemont Road, one's on Torby Road. Live, laugh, lube. Pitbull Pain Relief, the pain sticks that just don't quit. Go to pitbullpainrelief.com, see what all the fuss is about. True Hockey, take what's yours. And of course, I love my fucking Mugsy jeans. They're stretchy, they're comfortable, and they're my favorite jeans. Mugsy jeans. Folks, this has been episode 234A of Tales with TR. I'll be back in just a couple of days with more great hockey talk.